welcome to Big Talk, live from the nation's capital, Abuja. My name is Edikan Michael. A pleasure to have you join us tonight on the show. We'll continue to look at the different political events in the nation. Now, with the recent moves by opposition politicians to form alliance and present a common front against the ruling party, is looking increasingly unlikely because of the personal interests. Some persons have argued that if opposition remains fragmented, it will further strengthen the ruling party to have an easy ride in the 2027 poll, especially with the increasing defection of key political leaders from other troubled parties into its fold. And since the end of 2023 general election, a host of elected opposition figures have defected to the ruling party, with more, including some governors, expected to jump ship before the end of 2025 ahead of the 2027. But what it means is that some experts say one-party system may not just be dangerous for Nigeria's democracy, but that it inhibits social development because important governmental policies, programs, and decisions are taken without consulting the wily and subjecting the same to constructive debates, criticism, and input. Tonight on the show Big Talk, we'll be looking at trouble in the parties, the APC tactics ahead of 2027, the state of opposition, the state of the nation, how the president and democracy is faring under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. A member of People's Democratic Party is my guest tonight, Edwin Adai. Thanks so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's always
good evening, Nigerians.
Always a pleasure. How's your party? I mean, because the last time you were here, we were looking at the concern about PDP and all of that. Is your party still trying to, get the party together to shape ahead of the election? Because SDP are already threatening the fact that they will be the leading party sooner or later.
Well, politicians and commentators and analysts have their opinion. I can speak as a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party and as a leader in the party. Of course, you and I know that the only nationalistic party in the Federal Republic of Nigeria remains the People's Democratic Party. Yes, of course, there are pockets of interest here and there. Of course, in a situation where, the game of politics really is a game of interest. Do you understand? And it is not abnormal for you to see a situation where people are, struggling to take advantage of each other in holding strategic position that means a lot to the party is normal. But that notwithstanding does not really underscore the fact that the PDP is weakening. No. The PDP is like a cat with 9 lives. We are very strong. We are very formidable. All the organs of the party, the NEC, the board of trustees, we are intact. Apart from the squabbles in respect to the office of the national secretary of the party, every national working committee positions are intact. Our state executives are intact, the zonal executives are intact, ward executives are intact, local government executives are intact. So, with all due respect, PDP is strong, PDP is vibrant. Of course, at the appropriate time, we will make a statement and we'll start really bringing forth the right policies and programs that indeed Nigeria will know that the only party in the Federal Republic of Nigeria is the People's Democratic Party indeed.
Some of your party members have been worried about the appointment of a sole administrator to Rivers State and even the declaration of a state of emergency. They see that to be, taking PDP out of government house in Rivers State. Is that the description you've had also? And of course, what do you feel about the whole situation?
Well, you see, you and I, we're in Nigeria. We've heard opinions from those who are legal luminary in this country. We've had dissenting voices also from those who are pro-government. We also saw the resolutions and the voice votes from the National Assembly. And we are also acquainted with the fact that a lot of Nigerians are talking. And of course, they cited this section of the Constitution and the decision of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, with all due respect. So many people, even myself inclusive, it's unconstitutional. We are operating a democratic system of government. We are not a banana republic. Our tenant and operation is guided by the rule of law. We have a constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that guides our precedents, that guides our operations, that guide our ground norms. And therefore, it is expected that the handlers of the president and even those who are surrounding the president, of course, they should be able to let him understand that this action that he has taken is not just about Simi Fubara or Wike or the State Assembly. It's about respecting the law of the land. It's about adhering and ensuring that the spirit of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria remains the only ground norm that we can operate in this country. And of course, for some of us who are politicians, we do not expect, with all due respect, for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to stoop so low by not adhering or trying to call his cabinet member to advise him appropriately on the right decisions to take. On this particular of removing a democratically elected governor of Rivers State, we frowned at it. It's unconstitutional. Of course, it is not expected of somebody like President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, of which, of course, some of us believe is a Democrat. What he has done is a clear demonstration of a totalitarian regime or a dictatorial regime. And of course, it's unlike the principles or the tenets of democracy in Nigeria, with all due respect.
I mean, what other way do you feel the president would have managed that situation? Because if you look at the events that unfolded, I would have led to the declaration, even the explanation given by the Attorney General of the Federation. They have given justification to that action. The destruction is on the other end about the issue of insecurity. The legislature not working and the executive not working hand in hand together was a threat to democracy in that state. That there was a breach of the constitution that we, of course, you are also holding brief on for the action of the president. Do you feel, or what other means you feel the president would have handled the situation?
It's very simple. It's very simple. It's not a rocket science. The president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, by virtue of the power vested on him within the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as a commander-in-chief, he has the intelligence, he has all the information required. And of course, the activities that is playing out within the governor or the executive arm of government in Rivers State and the legislative arm of government in Rivers State, you and I know that all of these activities are politically motivated. It all tailored towards one group of persons, or let me say a godfather, trying to say, look, I brought you in, and therefore I have the capacity and the gravitas to tell you what to do. And of course, if you are not adhering to my dictates, I will tell you that I have the power with the backing of the government to remove you from office. And of course, that is what has played out. In this case, it wasn't as if the president does not have an option. There are political solutions to deal with this issue. But when the president decided to deliberately take a side and trying to back his supposedly minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in order to support the shenanigan that is going on in the Rivers State, of course, it's a very sad, it's a very appalling situation. I know that the president has the solutions to it, but he has deliberately and intentionally taken side. It's just like the quote from the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He said it, and I quote, he said, "It is easy for you to wake somebody who is deeply asleep, but you cannot wake somebody who apparently decided to say, I am sleeping, or trying to pretend that he's sleeping while he's not sleeping." So that is the case of actually what is playing out in Nigeria. It wasn't as if there is no solution. There are political solutions to it. There are constitutional provisions to it. And therefore, it is expected the president should take one of the two options, not using this Gestapo approach in removing a democratically elected governor of Rivers State. Don't forget, democracy is the majoritarian government. It is not a government that is imposed by one man or an aristocratic government where few people decide who runs the affairs of the country. The majority of the people of Rivers State came out in mass to vote Governor Simila Efubara as the substantive governor of Rivers State. I do not see any reason why they will use an impunity approach to remove him from office. It's unacceptable, it's undemocratic, and all Nigerians have condemned it. And I know by now that the president is regretting his actions, you know, that he has taken in respect to what transpired in Rivers State.
It has been confirmed by the National Assembly. So it looks that if he now has the backing of the National Assembly, there is nothing probably that may happen again. Because you have a senator, we have
you see,
senator from PDP, Labour Party, and all those who are...
You see, I have my reservation on the decisions of the National Assembly. I have my reservations. And based on my own personal opinion, the National Assembly is one revered institution that I respect so much. And I do not know the basis upon which they've taken the decision they've taken. But as a Nigerian, as a citizen of this country, and as a politician, I think that they should be able to look at it critically without sentiment and make the appropriate pronouncement. Because in every indication, they are the ones who've actually formulated the law. What the judiciary would literally do is to interpret the law. So if you formulate a law and you are the proponent of the law, you should be able to act, you know, in line with the law. So with all due respect, I don't want to really dabble into the voice votes and everything that have transpired in the National Assembly, but they know, we know, Nigerians know. So the best thing for us to do is to see to it that this kind of act does not repeat itself again in this country.
I mean, I don't know if you have listened to your former president Obasanjo, who was a member of your party, when he was saying that democracy is in danger, and of course is under decline due to lack of alignment with African values. Some person have said he also had declared some state of emergency during his time as the president, you know, even making the consideration of the fact that matters like that was also wrongly taken. Some person have also criticized him. So directly, it has also pushed the fact that your party, even Goodluck Jonathan, had also taken such decision at the time in leadership, that it was more of a bold decision that every government must take when situation arises like this.
You see, the point is this. Yes, a state of emergency was pronounced during the time of Obasanjo and Goodluck Jonathan. But what you fail to look at is that is the action, is it in line with the constitutional provision? Does any democratically elected persons or governor was removed in that case? The answer is no. Do you understand? So what Nigerians are saying is this. Yes, it is not out of place for you to say, okay, if you are faced with, the constitution is very clear vis-a-vis what the circumstances will be before the pronouncement or the declaration for a state of emergency. But within the constitutional provision, it is very clear and so obvious that we haven't even gotten to that level of decay before that pronouncement was made. And it is upon that premise that some people are of the opinion that, and including myself, we are holding the view that what the president has done is actually unconstitutional. It's not in line with the constitutional provision of the land. Yes, a state of emergency was declared, but what happens at that time was quite different from what is playing out right now. So there's a clear distinction to all of those things, all of this.
All right. I mean, a lot have happened. The coalition and the person that people have looked at, if APC are trying to take over, I mean, are trying to force other states to fall in line with their party. Some person are defecting even from your party, from Labour Party to APC, and those that are bothered about the future of political parties in the country. What did you speak of a one-party system, possibly being an agenda of APC that have also many have also criticized?
Okay, fine. You see, I'll look at it this way. I think, in my personal opinion, I think that all the political party in Nigeria, even the one I belong to inclusive, I don't want to exonerate them, we are actually falling short of the standard of what it takes to actually run a political party. Why do I say so? A political party is more or less a school. It's a school. A political party is designed to teach her members about her policies, about her ideology, about her philosophy, about her code of conduct. It's more like a religion. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, as a either you are a Christian, right? As a Christian or a Muslim, in the body of maybe Christendom, we have different churches, right? But you could see that the operations of the Catholic Church is not the same with the Methodist Church. The operation of the Methodist Church is not the same like that of the Pentecostal Church. Do you understand what I'm saying? But they are all churches. What makes them actually different is the ideology and the operations of how they conduct their activities. So it is expected that if you are a member of a political party, either PDP or Labour Party or APC or SDP, the first thing the political party ought to have done is to indoctrinate you, not teaching. I use the word indoctrinate, is to indoctrinate you with their philosophies and their code of conduct, the way they intend to operate their activities in line with the belief system of the founding fathers. Until you're able to shape the philosophy of your members in line with the ideology of the party, you cannot get an organic loyalist into the party. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that it is high time for us in Nigeria to define the operationalization of every political party in ensuring that the right value system is being taught to the members across board. So that first of all, let them appreciate the philosophy of the party. If you are running an ideologically driven political party, all of this issue of seeing that one Mr. A is moving from another political party to another, you won't see it. It's because we have not really deepened the teaching and learning aspect of what is expected of a political party. That is why a lot of people just see the political party as a platform where you just go into the politics to grab money. 99% of the people who are into politics today, they are in it for the wrong reason, not necessarily because they want to go there to serve the country. And it is high time for the system or the political party to actually redirect the thinking of our members into making them to understand the rationale behind why a political party is formed, the function of the political party, how it intends to run the government in line with our own principles and ideology. Until we do that, all of these things that we are talking about would not necessarily means a whole lot to a lot of people. Again, in respect to if I'm not worried, I'm not really worried, because for some of us who actually understood the foundation upon which the People's Democratic Party is formed, we didn't enter the political party because we are confused. We entered the political party deliberately. We understood the philosophy of the party. We understood the philosophy of the party, and we know that that party actually has a nationalistic view, and our interest is better served in that political party. That's why we joined. So there is no storm. There is no activities that will make us to leave a traditional political party that we so much believe, and that is where we stand.
So do you really think that what happened in 2014 has affected your party up till now? Because there are those that are bothered at the coming together of some political parties as of 2014 to form a coalition that led to APC that took away PDP out of government, of course, as derailed. So, likes of a former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, said APC have derailed from their vision as well. But do you feel that that action, the coming together of opposition as at the time to unseat PDP from government, has also triggered a lot of reactions even to your party up to now?
Well, you see, for me, and as a stakeholder and as a member of the People's Democratic Party, one of the major objectives of a political party is to see to it that it wins election, not just to participate. There's nothing wrong in us bringing other likes mind together to form a coalition. I embrace it.
You support coalition?
I support coalition. I support merging together. I support the idea of those with a nationalistic mindset should come together to define a pathway in ensuring that we deepen and strengthen democracy in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What I do not want to accept is people just going there for the wrong reasons. And that is why, yes, apart from the fact that we want to come together, the purpose at which we are coming together must be properly defined. The value system we intend to uphold must be properly defined. The principles upon which we want to build our party as a foundation must be properly defined. Not just coming together in a confused manner. That is exactly what is transpiring in APC today. Because the political party that met together was not actually, how will I put it now, was not actually formed with an ideological formation, a principle that will actually bring the people to think together, act together. And that's why you see a lot of confusion, even though they are the ruling party today. And I wouldn't want that to happen to us as a member of the opposition. And therefore, it's just a way of trying to make people to understand that, look, we are open for merger, we are open to coalition, but the coalition will be driven based on strong ideological foundation. And therefore, as we are going in there together, we are going in there with one mission, one purpose, one mindset to see to it that we are not only grabbing powers to empower few people. We are grabbing power with the mindset of the fact that, yes, because we are in the nationalistic party, we are going to formulate policies and programs that will better the lives of the average Nigerians. I think that is the objective.
Very excellent. But some will have a concern about how possible the dream of unseating President Bola Ahmed Tinubu from office. Some said he's a Democrat. He understands, he's a master of the game. He understands what it takes to win a president. He's a man who had prepared for a longer time. A man who understands what is even ahead of 2027 and all of those calculations. And it looks that it may be a very difficult time for opposition to make this a reality. Are you having that feeling?
Well, you see, that's not the truth. You see, you can just express your opinion, but the opinion is not based on strong foundation. Because as far as I'm concerned, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu can be defeated. It can be defeated, easily defeated, not because of what the opposition party will do really, because his policies and program has actually defined so. Let me tell you, I expect the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, having assumed office under a faulty electoral process, what is actually expected of him to do is to see to it that Nigerians still have confidence and respect in the electoral process. For instance, I am a politician, I am in my ward, and I actually saw what transpired in the last election. In the aftermath of, the so-called robust, excellent job done by the National Assembly in ensuring that we have the 2022 Electoral Act, some of us believed and we hope that our operations and activities will be guided in line with the Electoral Act. And of course, to add to it, INEC came with a very robust guideline, which of course we thought as the independent body, they would have been they would have done the necessary thing to ensuring that we follow the guideline. But of course, don't forget that the presidential election, while they were still collating the result, 1/4 of the result is not in IREV before the presidential result was announced. what does that really tells you as a politician or as a Nigerian? It automatically means that even INEC does not respect our own rules. And I hope and I fear that this government should look into it, intentionally, to see to it that they bring forth the confidence of Nigeria to believe in the process of, going into election again. If not, a whole lot will happen. But of course, I don't need to say a whole lot right now because I'm on air.
Because a more essence of why we have government is, of course, for the people. Last time you were here, you gave us an idea of Politics 101, that it's always about the people and all of that. So what defines elections? Of course, the coming together of even, politicians should be the interest of the people. But Nigerians are bothered that politicians probably will gather again, will form all of this coalition again, will come together again just for their own personal interests. What happens to Nigerians? Do you feel that people are being patriotic with the trends of what is happening, not just in the Federation, go back to the states, the type of governments and leadership impact have been made just to get dividends of democracy back to the people? Do you feel that kind of conversation is not held within those stratas?
You see, it still boils down to what I've just said earlier on. You see, the problem of Nigerians or political party is leadership. And you see, leadership is not something that or is a rocket science agenda. It boils down on the principle of teaching and learning. You don't expect a child to exhibit a character that you have not taught him or her. If you are a leader, like what is happening in other climes, you must undergo proper mentorship and coaching of leadership. You will understand administration. You will understand management. You understand how the institution of government works. You understand how the judiciary works. You understand how the political party works. And it is that idea of management and administration you are coming into governance with. And therefore, it is left for us Nigerians now, in fact, the responsibility of the political parties, whether APC, PDP, or Labour Party. Leadership position is not just for every Dick and Harry. Leadership position is a very sensitive place, and it is tailored towards the welfare of the people. Like I said the last time I came, I told you, and I will repeat it again, that the purpose of governance is to ensure that the welfare of the people and the security of life and property is guaranteed. Any other thing is secondary. And therefore, when those you are bringing into the political platform are not well mentored and are not well trained into understanding the purpose at which they are being elected into office, whether PDP or APC or Labour Party, you will still see the same thing. And therefore, I am of the opinion that political parties and even Nigeria, if there is a need, let there be a national policy that will look to it that for you to even be a councillor, for you to become a local government chairman, a state assembly member, a governor or a president or a senator or a House of Rep member, you must pass through the rigor. And I like the fact that even both the APC and the PDP of recent, we have the PDI, that's the People's Democratic Institute. Every political or aspirant who of course is aspiring for political position, any position at all, you must pass through that rigor of training, properly mentored, learn the rudiments of governance before you come in. But in a situation where people are not properly taught, they don't know what it is, they will see a lot of money and don't know what to use the money for. And the next thing you will see is that they start stealing the money when they don't even know that there is a healthcare system in the rural area you should take care of, when they don't know that there are out of school students that you ensure that you give them scholarship, when they don't even know that you have to, create an enabling environment for investors to come in. All of these things are part of governance. But of course, if you don't teach them, how would they know? So we keep on blaming them. Those we are electing into political office, how much do they know about the responsibility bestowed upon them by, the process or the activities they are going into? All of these things are challenges that we must be deliberate about to see to
by political parties. Some will say these are products of political parties, because what happens is that during the primaries, that is always more determinant of every election. At the end of the day, who APC gives flag, who PDP gives flag, Labour Party gives flag to, eventually becomes, or wins, emerges the leaders at the time, be it the governor, House of Assembly, and even the National Assembly.
You see, thank God that you just mentioned this issue of flag. You see, for any political party, like I said, I am not even exonerating my own party. It's a national problem, and we must address it as such. A political party that is given her flag to anybody at all, whether councillor or local government chairman, what it means is that we have trained you adequately. We have inculcated our value system to you. We have built you in line with our philosophies. We have strengthened you ideologically. And therefore, it is upon that foundation that we have found Mr. Michael worthy to carry this flag and represent us. So it is not just a function of just carrying anybody. So it's a function of, first and foremost, inculcating the right value system into that person that you are giving the flag to. Because the flag is not just for formality. The flag is a perfect representation of the fact that you have been inculcated with the totality of the value system of any political party that you are representing. This was upon that ground that we are saying, Mr. Michael, for instance, I'm using your name as an example, go and represent us. So in that case, you're not going there with your own mindset. You're not going there to do things in line with your own whims and caprice. You are going there to do things in line with the manifesto of the party. If the party says, okay, for instance, we are conservative, you have to do things as a conservative. If the political party says, okay, we are liberal, you have to do things as liberal. If the political party says, okay, we are socialist in view, you have to do things in line with the philosophy of a socialist, political thought. And that is what we are saying. Just like, for instance, if you're a reverend father, be you in America or in Germany or in Tokyo or in Africa, the philosophy, the mindset is the same. You're not even going there because you're an Igbo man or a Yoruba man, or you're an Asian, or you are from any other clime. You are going there with the philosophies and the indoctrination of the Catholic faith. And therefore, by the time they certify you as a reverend father, you are going there to represent the Catholic faith. And that is why you see that even in the Christendom and even other religious organizations, like even the Muslim community and the rest of them, they take out time for them to go through that proper mentorship and coaching. It's a rigorous indoctrinatory system. And that is why the moment they release you out, you are going there with the mindset of a Catholic, or you are going there with the mindset of whatsoever Muslim organization that you represent. That is how the political party should be. So if we are giving you a mandate to go and represent us, you are not going there to do things in line with your own whims and caprice, to go and jeopardize and start stealing money. The idea is that the party has trained you enough with the necessary value system that you represent us anywhere you are. It doesn't matter whether you are in the state assembly or you are in the local government body. So the most important thing is that you have been given the right value system, and it's expected for you to act as such until we get to that level of paying so much attention to the teaching and learning aspect that is ordinarily like let me say 70% of the activities of the National Working Committee will still be finding ourselves wanting.
All right. I mean, a lot to be disturbed about because we are seeing how we can strengthen 26 years after practicing democracy. There's a need to continue to do more because there are those that will say, you know, the worst form of democracy is probably better than any form of government. But how do we get this democracy better? There are a lot of outcry regards to either the judiciary. There are those that are saying it's a capture and blaming, pushing blame to institutions, you know, INEC and all of that. There is a trust deficit within Nigerians. Put it that way, some Nigerians are losing confidence in the country, you know, in the institutions. But there's a need to continue to speak well and build confidence of Nigerians. How do you feel this can be communicated? Do you feel that what governments are doing are completely, you know, separating from, you know, what the people are hearing for, the policies of government, the reforms of government, the body language of government? Do you feel that there's a more to do to set the mood of the nation in a place where people understand that at least we are progressing?
Yeah, that's a very valid question to an extent. You see, in every system, it is the institution of that nation that runs and determines the activities and the operations of the activities vis-a-vis that borders on governance. Now, if the institution of government is strengthened and ensuring that they respect their own rules, respect their own guideline, nobody from nowhere, regardless of how highly placed you are, we must ensure that if, for instance, it is the National Assembly, the rules of the National Assembly should be respected to the latter. You know, the problem we have in this country is that actions don't have consequences. When actions don't have consequences, you will see a situation where people will start acting irrationally. And of course, it still boils down to the fact that we have not really paid strong attention to what is happening. For instance, the judiciary. A lot of people, proud to this time, they will tell you the court is what? The something of the common man. Is the last hope of the common man, the court. But today, people are even skeptical to take their matter to court because they believe that justice can be bought, which of course it ought not to be so, until and unless we begin to pay attention in deepening and strengthening the various institutions of government to see to it that one man cannot just come and say, oh, we are overturning these activities and nobody says anything. And even when he does that, there is no consequences. Do you understand what I'm saying? Until we begin to have consequences to every problem. If you erred, you should be punished. If you steal, go to jail. If you are caught wanting in tampering with public fund, there are provisions in the constitutions that are already melted out, you know, what do you call, sanctions or punishment for you. Why are we so skeptical? Why are we not enforcing it? So no country can run without upholding strongly to the law of the land. And you see, some of the things you are seeing is as a result of the fact that actions don't have consequences until we get to that level where we see to it that if you erred, there is a punishment to whatever you do. And of course, with that, people in the public office will not have that self-entitlement of thinking that whatever I do, I'll go away with it. That is not expected in any public office. If you are looking for money, go and do business. The political space is strictly meant for those who are in and they have, you know, gotten to a level where they have gotten to what I would call the state of self-actualization and they want to give back to the society. It's not a place for you to make money. And if you're going there with the idea of making money, That is where the problem lies. So the money that ordinarily should be for the public, one person will just corner it into a bank account because, of course, at the end of the day, there is no consequences, no actions that will be taken. And that is why you see the vulnerability of the system today.
Is that why politicians are always after power? Some person will say, you know, even after moving from this office, you see politicians still finding a way to get into another office. It's not lucrative.
No, it is the confusion. It is the confusion. Because the idea is not necessarily going there to serve. The idea is that we are going there to make money. And you cannot go into a system with the wrong reason and then expect to do the right thing. So that's why I keep emphasizing on this aspect of the political party need to do more. We need to teach them what it takes. Going into politics and serving is a selfless agenda. It's not a selfish agenda. It's a selfless thing. You are going there to serve the people. You are not going there to enrich yourself. So, but you know, because of the way the society is skewed and the economic challenges in this country today, a lot of people, if you can't find a job, you know, you look for a job, you can't find a job, and then you now say, okay, what do I do next? You try one or two businesses, it's not working, and then the next thing they will tell you, I'm going into politics. But again, there's nothing even wrong in going to politics. But as you're going to the politics, are you going into the politics for the right reasons? If the answer is yes, you are welcome. But if you are going to the politics for the wrong reason, then you are not welcome. And that is why I keep emphasizing that the onus and the responsibility, for instance, there's what we call agent of social stratification. It means that, in my own interpretation, we have three schools that an individual will pass through in life. One, the family school. Two, the formal education school. Three, the religious school. Four, the political party school. Five, the mass media school, which you and I are operating today. Until you understand the dynamics and the differences of this school, and also whosoever that wants to be a president or a governor must try to indoctrinate or train the people to understand the dynamics and the curriculum in this various school, we will never get it right. And I hope that the right people are in the right place to actually redefine. That's why some of us are saying, look, we are in politics because we want to correct some of this abnormality.
Excellent. I mean, let me take your attention. I know you don't want to dwell on issues of National Assembly, but you're one of the senators from your sister state. Some constituents have initiated process to recall her from the Senate after suspension. You know, they are saying that they have lost confidence on our representation. Do you feel that there's a better way on how this can be resolved? I understand you don't want to dwell on issues of National Assembly, but it's a matter of national concern. A senator have been suspended. Now the constituents are making move to recall her back home, you know, saying they have lost confidence on our representation.
You see, sincerely, I honestly don't want to talk about this National Assembly skirmishes. Yeah, the reason is simple. Two wrongs don't make it right. There's no way two wrongs can make it right. I have seen the way the women are trying to bully the men, you know, and I've also seen the way the men are actually trying to sustain, to ensure that they don't go into or go into oblivion, into the murky waters of the controversies that is coming out from the female foes, or what they call the feminists. It's a very delicate situation, but I think that, in my opinion, this issue can be better handled. One thing I don't like about this issue really is the idea of trying to rubbish the institution of the Senate. You see, every country, every nation must preserve some certain institution. And you see, you cannot say we are operating democracy without the National Assembly. So as far as I'm concerned, the National Assembly will remain one of the most revered, one of the most respected institutions of government vis-a-vis issue that borders on the practices and the operationalization of democracy. And therefore, whatever that transpired within the Red Chamber should be handled out of the media space. And of course, we don't want a situation where, you know, other countries will start looking at Nigerians like an unruly, you know, organization, I mean, unruly country where, of course, our leaders are behaving the way ordinarily they shouldn't behave. So for me, yes, I do not buy into the philosophies of, you know, calling her back, but I still believe and I still know that the National Assembly have a lot of respected leaders who are well-grounded vis-a-vis issues that border on politics and how to resolve political issues of this magnitude. And I think that they can do better. They should not just relax because the issue has gone to the media. They should try everything humanly possible to sustain the sanctity of the Hollow Chamber and to see to it that Nigeria did not degenerate into a situation where we will become a laughingstock among the community of nations.
That excellent one, Honorable Adai. I understand the fact that you are part of those who have gone to some places in this country for alternatives. What are the feedback coming from those areas? Because a lot of, some persons said there's a need to continue to conscientize, of course, spread some information, educate the citizens, engage with them and know what they feel about the progress of this country. What has been the feedback?
Okay, yeah, thank you very much for answering that question. You see, the alternative is a conscious nationalistic movement. I thought that by now the INEC should be, you know, be concerned about what really happened in the last election. If you recall, if my memory did not fail me, about 94 million PVC were collected. And if you see the number of people that cast votes across board, it's literally shortfall of what is actually expected. Now, the reason why you see the alternative is moving around is that, yes, we are members of the opposition and we care about the interests of our own political party. What we are trying to do is to say, look, gone are the days where young people will collect their PVC, irrespective of how the system has failed them. It is their civic responsibility to see to it that they still have confidence in our democratic process, and to also see to it that each time that time comes for us to cast our votes, they should see to it that they do so, because it is their civic responsibility to do so. And as a leader of the opposition, what we are trying to do is, we are trying to sensitize the people to understand that it is high time that we as Nigerians, regardless of any political party you belong to, let the best of us, the very, very best of us, represent us. What that means is that we are trying to shift people. It's a paradigm shift to make people to understand that the era of bringing mediocres into the political space is over, and therefore it is high time for us to bring the right people. And what we're trying to do is to sensitize the people across board to see to it that, yes, it is their civic responsibility to vote. Yes, you also have to be very careful to understand the political party you are joining based on their ideological underpinning, and also to see to it that we work for the collective good of Nigeria and also in deepening democracy across board.
A very nice conversation right there, and of course we appreciate your time tonight on the show Big Talk Extra. And the democracy is what we have, and of course we always advance discussions that will take these to another level. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Tonight. Honorable Adai, Edwin Adai, he's a member of People's Democratic Party, and of course an analyst who had joined us to discuss all of these developments in the state, matters arising and the trends politically. My name is Edikan Micah. Thanks so much for joining us on the show tonight and Big Talk. See you again.